this is more like it. So recently I reviewed a game called Tokyo Extreme Racer, which is another racing game for the Game Boy Advance. Even though the game was technically okay or whatever, that's exactly why I hated it. It was just so boring and just so okay. Like, either be great or be the worst thing ever, because at least then I have something to talk about. It's the cowardly games that hide in the middle. Nothing cowardly about this one. Of course, I don't see any explosive arrows either. It's GT Advance 3! Pro Concept Racing. These cars should be equipped with mag-tipped arrows. Was released in 2003, which was right in the GBA's heyday. Now, I didn't have a GBA back then. I'm not much of a handheld guy, in fact. But it seems like a lot of people had a real technology boner over the GBA, especially developers. They were putting all kind of 3D games on that system for no apparent reason other than they could. Kind of. In retrospect, I'd like to quote one of the great minds of our time, Dr. Ian Malcolm. They were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think that they should. So as a result, the GBA has a lot of blurry, pixelated, blurry, barely legible kind of 3D games. At first, I thought this was going to be another one. Actually, it kind of is, but at least this one plays awesome. At least this blurry mess is a fun blurry mess. So I gotta tell you, the first thing I like about this game is just how much content there is. Like with Tokyo Extreme whatever, there were only like 6 tracks, and every single one of them looked exactly the same as the last one. This one has almost 40 tracks, and there's different weather and different times of day and lighting. So like right away, this is a better game than Tokyo Extreme Fart Face. I hate that game. From what I understand, these GT Advance games, though, are actually considered some of the best racers on the GBA, and I can see why. I don't hate this game, which for me is starting to become a big deal. There's more than 90 different cars in this game, and if I knew anything about cars, I'd probably be very excited about that number. I picked mine completely at random. Does it have wheels? That's my main concern. Does it go? There's also just a stupid amount of races to do. Almost like 50, I think, which is stupid. That's just a stupid amount of races. And different modes, too. There's a drift mode where you have to keep a drift going. But I can barely even drive, so the hell with drift mode. But at least it's there for those of you who are actually good at racing games. What I enjoyed most, though, is just the gameplay. It's super smooth for a GBA game. It's tight, responsive. It doesn't look that great, but it is better than other GBA racers, not to mention any names. Tokyo Extreme Poop Muffin. Look, at least the cars actually look different. That's a good thing. And I like that these arrows pop up too, even though they're not mag-tipped and explosive. You can tell I've been watching a lot of Rambo. But I like the arrows because they tell you what turn's coming up. You see, with these blurry GBA games, it can be tough to actually tell what turns are coming up. You can't really see them. And even though that's less of a problem with this one, it's still a great addition. It helps you to not slam into walls, which is a good thing in racing, it turns out. You can customize your cars and unlock new parts and stuff. You know, there's all that stuff for those who like to do that stuff and spend lots of time doing that stuff. But again, what really impressed me with this game, what I enjoyed just at the most basic level, is the core racing. I really felt like I was in control of these cars. Like I wasn't just sliding all over the place and making a fool of myself. So I had a lot of fun playing this, even by myself. You can link up with a friend for multiplayer, which would actually be awesome if I had any friends who wanted to play video games with me. What are you guys doing later? I've actually got another GBA racer here, actually, so we'll see how that one goes. But in the meantime, look, I'm super impressed with this one. If you're looking for a GBA racer that's still actually playable, this one delivers. It's GT Advance 3, Pro Concept Racing, the Game Boy Advance. Seriously, what are you guys doing later? I'll tell you what I won't be doing. Slamming into walls! Thanks for the arrows. And thanks to Mark from Brooklyn, New York for sending this to the show. This was a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I don't get to say that about video games very often anymore.